Alright, so in this tutorial we're going to look at grouping groups and components. So really vital concepts to understand in SketchUp. So let's have a look. If I just go with a rectangle to start with, and I'll draw a rectangle, and similar to what we might have seen in one of our earlier models, we might have had something like this. And if you go to move an element, everything goes all sort of out of whack. So the idea with the groups is that essentially you can group a set of geometry, face and lines and so on. So if I've selected everything, or another option would be to double click on it, and then I'm going to go make group, shortcut G. Alright, so now I've got that as a group. You'll notice that I can move this around, and it moves, no problems. Alright, so I'm going to do another rectangle and make another one just here. Alright, double click on that one and G for group. So now I can move this one, and you can move these independently of each other. Now if I want to edit some of the geometry here in one of the groups I've made, let's say this one here, in order to edit it, what I need to do first is double click on it. So I guess I can sort of tell why this is in a group, because when I click on this face, the face doesn't go blue anymore like it used to. The whole object is selected at the border. So I can sort of tell that's a group. So if I want to edit this, I got to double click on it, and then I can see the box appear around it. And now if I click on that face, it goes blue like it has in the past, and I can begin to edit within that group and change things. So I might hit space or just click off it to get out of the group. So you can also, both of these items are grouped, but you can also apply a group to those. So right click group. And now both of those items exist in a group. So if I click on one of them, I notice that both are selected. So if I want to get inside this group, first of all I double click on it, and then I notice that both of these are grouped within the group. So I can't edit any one of these two items unless I double click on that one and get inside that group. So it's worth knowing that some items, particularly you might get some off the warehouse, and if you want to get inside and edit some, you might need to get inside multiple groups to get to that editing stage. It's also worth noting that if you're wanting to put a window or a door in a wall, like for example this one here, I can see everything's grouped. I'm going to get inside. I then click on here, I can get inside that. And then let's click on this, and now I can start to see that I can possibly cut a hole or put a square in this wall and push-pull it through, things like that. So I'm just going to get back out of that. You can see really everything has got its own group within this home. Okay, stopping things becoming a big mess. So grouping, really vital concept. To group as you go along and not get into a mess. Okay, so for this next part, I've just drawn two cubes, and as you can see, they're not grouped at the moment. Let me just Control Z on that. So they're not grouped at the moment. So what I'll do is triple click on this one and right click group. And what we're going to look at now is making something a component. So I'm going to triple click on this one and go make component. Now it asks for some information. I'm just going to put cube and hit create. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select that component, and I'm going to go Control C, Control V for me, being on a PC, and place a component somewhere near it. Alright, so now we've got a standard group, and these two, or that is a component and that is a copy of that component. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is go into this first group and just select that top surface, go to my default tray materials, and I'm just going to give it a color. All right, now hit space or click outside the group, and then I'm going to go into my component. Very much the same, and now you can see what's probably going to happen here. As soon as I clicked on that top surface, that other surface has gone blue over there, and what I can do is give it a color, and you'll see it applies to the copy of that component. All right, so if you can imagine doing something like tiles or decking, component can be a big advantage, because you might find you want to make one small tweak to a size or to a feature or to a texture or a color, and it can apply it to every other copy of that component. Okay, so the next thing I just wanted to have a look at was grabbing a different type of component. Now, if I search window in here, and then under my filters, I want to turn on live component, and we'll apply that. All right, so with that, let's grab this, bring it into my model. So as you can see, it says download and configure. So let's bring it in, and then once you've brought it in, what we need to do is right click on it and configure live component. It brings up a little menu here where once it loads, you can start to tweak and edit many things on this live component. So you can see how far the window is open, is moving, window height, width, frame depth, so it's quite a lot. And with those components, for example, you could bring a bed in and you might be able to switch it from queen, king, single, cot, that kind of thing. So really cool components from the warehouse. So just thought it's worth pointing out a live component. Okay, so have a play around with all those things. Bring some, this item here I just brought in from the warehouse. You can try out all those different things with groups and components and see if you can get them to act in the same way that they did in this video. One of the most important concepts really about modeling in SketchUp, I think, groups and components.